past, and we go back towards the old Sentinels Haven kind of style where teams aren't going to have much of a chance on this. If this becomes a 2-0, you got to favor Sentinels in that split as well, because that's been their best map so far in the tournament. At that stage, Cloud9 are at risk of being 0-3, so Cloud9 got to pick this one up, I think, because Sentinels is going to be, rather, split's going to be rough.
Yeah, and that, to be fair, for the Cloud9 Blue, even though that they also carry a very formidable, map win-loss record on this Haven map in specific, they've also been tested as recently as that winners finals versus NRG, which did, of course, also go to overtime. They were able to win. So a 15-13 for them there, 13-11 versus Andbox, and a 13-7 versus T1. So they have played this map in every single map set that they have gotten through in the upper bracket with success, but they, of course, have been at least tested in some way. But the one thing I will say, we mentioned this at least briefly during Vine, this is a map that Cloud9 Blue, once they take an advantage in the economy, they are not quick to give it up. They are really, really good at staying efficient on full buy rounds, and that's something that Sentinels will have to try to mitigate in one form or another, whether that's getting off to a hot start or being maybe able to capitalize on a thrifty round or two.
So we did see Cloud9 play Haven versus NRG long ago in the upper bracket finals. That went to 15-13 in the favor of Cloud9, so a pretty close run versus NRG. And in terms of compositions, pretty standard across the board. Is there going to be an Astra for Cloud9? Nope, not today. Zombs don't stay on that one. So as far as Cloud9 goes, their composition pretty much identical here. In fact, incredibly identical Haven. For the side of Sentinels, Sick coming through on the Phoenix. So everything else for Sentinels is the same as what they usually play. Opening gravity well, stop the initial push coming through from Sentinels, at least slow it down in terms of timing.
Something else to keep in mind from Cloud9 Blue, no jet, but beyond that, they are not quick to play an operator at all. We've only seen a couple of times where Mitch has been the one to pick up that operator, so that would have to happen again with him on the Sentinel. First couple of shots from tenz and Sick are going to be great for first 2 kills. Theta also tagged down low. Zombs will convert first 3 kills, favoring Sentinels. Really solid hold once more, this time over at A.
We can go over towards C because you see how far Mitch is in. He might get a time with the dephh, has been spotted. Don't know if he can win this duel. C is still open though at this stage. Floppy nose garage is clean. They got to make their way onto the C site itself. Mitch is just trying to delay Floppy on 44 HP, and like he's got a little bit of time to plant. 2 versus 5 though. They need to find these frags.
And it comes down to, can Mitch find the first kill? You have a long flank coming through pretty darn quickly. Mitch does find one, but it's immediately traded. Now it's down to Floppy. He gets revealed. Shahzam able to follow up with the easy double. And of course, the defuse, no problem. Sentinels stay perfect through pistols so far. How about that? 3-0.
Just getting back to that operator conversation as well. When Mitch has played Cypher, we actually really haven't seen him pick up the operator, at least when I checked. So we're not really expecting Cloud9 to be opping just yet, anytime soon. Tenz on the Sentinel side, though, will be doing that eventually. Like I said as well, 3 pistols now going the way of Sentinels, which means 3 anti-ecos likely as well. Cloud9 will be at a 0-2 deficit in just a moment, unless they can do some more damage. I mean, Cloud9 did win some thrifties, so if they can get some of these sheriff taps again, that would be them opening up the round. Poised was certainly part of that. He's on the Reyna now. 3 sheriffs being brought up.
4-player stack initially over towards C long. Leaf earns himself an ultimate orb, and then everyone backs away. So playing for a little bit of control here over the power of getting this showstopper maybe online sooner rather than later seems to be the focus, at least for now, for Cloud9 Blue. Keep an eye on this Sentinels push through long, though. Zombs is already up close to lobby. We'll hear one. That's Mitch in the corner. He's also revealed. Here comes the next contestant. Finds the first. Needs more than that, though. Gets the second. Mitch will find the response, but it comes at a steep cost. Shahzam, second one to peek. Does get tagged up heavily. Meanwhile, Leaf on the site has opened the door. That'll be great overall for Cloud9 as they now have some control in as Zeta picks up the Fallen Spectre. He converts onto dapr, leaving things to Sick for a 1v3.
I mean, this is just all of Cloud9 walking up over towards A, and they'll find the 2 kills required. Sick will at least return one versus 2. Zeta's on low HP. You can find the wall back. There it is. Zeta straight through the wall. And the heal is still available. Blaze coming up. So maybe this is still doable for Sick. You see a plant though? No, Mitch has got the angle. Straight away into heaven. Down he goes. So part of that also for me comes down to the fact that Zombs had no stars placed over in A lobby. He had 1 star down on C long, and that was it. And I'm sitting there thinking, look, if there was a star here, you could gravity well. If you got to be pushing up into cubby very aggressively into A long, and then you play for a star where you gravity well, you know, to have players pulled into your line of sight, or just to at least mess up the movement of the Cloud9 players, I could see zombs getting like 3 kills, maybe even more, something like that. He's gonna be able to get a couple, drop the spike, but aside from that, you give away 1 spec inside of Cloud9, allow them for the possibility of winning this clutch, or winning this thrifty rather. They'll get that down to 1v1 right towards the end. Now 1-on-1 apiece. It's pistols online for Sentinels, straight into Garage. And Leaf will open things up.
Oh, what a leer that is. As soon as the hot hands had dissipated, Cloud9 on the approach. It's a 2-for-1 exchange. Next player up is tenz. Gets taken down by poised cleanly with a headshot. That'll lead towards Cloud9 getting a free plant here on C. And a conversation about how do you want to try to set up a 2v4 retake in the mix here for Sentinels on just pistol upgrades. Aldrone saved and will clear out the defensive entrance into C itself. Dom's gonna find the kill, but it's before, or pardon me, after that shahzam falls. So now it is just down to Zombs. Finds another, but poised, who pushed through with the Aldrone, will find their 3rd kill in the round. And that'll be Cloud9 Blue, as expected, taking the 3rd.
And poised bought up a rifle in that round as well. In fact, you know, a lot of Cloud9 did, to be fair with you. Operate online now for tenz. And very important, by the way, you know, if we can look a couple rounds back, even still very important that Cloud9 do win that 2nd round because they failed to win 3 pistols in a row. You got to get something out of this. You can't just also give away 3 anti-ecos for them to win at least 1. Now convert into this round 3. Delay Sentinels buy round until this 4th round. But as we said, you know, tenz on the operator, it's not going to get matched by Cloud9, especially not on this attack. tenz has got the line over towards A. The gravity well is going to help the timing as well. So at this point, I don't know if Cloud9 are going to be ready for that. They're not going A just yet, though, so they won't discover the operator until a little bit later on. Yeah,
this will be the really first test to see how Cloud9 are going to want to respond to this operator once they know that it is in the field. You see that Sentinels are starting to rotate their defense around a touch. Sick is going to get a lot of damage off onto Leaf mid-map, but can't make good for elimination, so things stay 5v5. Opportunity may be starting to brew for Cloud9 to try to work their way into B. The Aldrone will scout to see if anyone is actually inside this site. It'll come away with no information whatsoever. Now the dark cover is also coming out to block the entryways. The spike is not a part of this play as of yet. Run it back will be toggled. So Sick trying to make a play maybe. And here comes his go call. He's going to work his way in, not see anything as poised has eluded it completely. That will allow him a chance to play for Lurking Girl, but the offense is making its way on over. Showstopper out. It will not find anything, though, as Sentinels take the first 2 eliminations. Hunter's Fury is also a part of this play. Mitch with the spike has never worked his way on yet, and as poised eventually gets revealed on the flank, he gets dealt with, leaving things to Floppy and Mitch. This would be a 2v4, now down to a 2v3.
Smoke comes on just in time to block out tenz's LOS there. dapr holds on for a long time. There it is. Even dashing in. Classic at the ready, and that's tenz, baby. 2 rounds now for Sentinels, and it comes down to dapr. That's the first thing I'm going to talk about here, because dapr off the back of working through the gravity well, used by zombs, completely ruins Leaf, and I think Leaf's ultimately there in the showstopper misses as well, so a little bit unfortunate there for Cloud9. I was going to say, maybe B could be the play. You actually saw, you know, how aggressive C9 were thinking about making their way on towards B, and I mean, versus an operator, not that they knew that it was online, but versus an operator, that would have been pretty good. Lost confidence after the runner back got popped by Sick, who actually holds on to it for a while, didn't just run through, just kind of scaring Cloud9 away, forcing them back out, forcing the cold feet on them. Shift over towards C. It's just dapr, and he actually gets a frag, which is so insane.
Both can be traded. Zombs wants to get aggressive. Finds the first, also deletes the boombot, but feels like that's enough. Backs away. tenz still up. Has the dash. Takes the 2nd shot. Finds it versus Leaf in a very early 5v3 situation favoring Sentinels. No flank play coming through. At least not from Sentinels POV. So you're looking at Mitch. He's lurking mid-map. There is a trap wire in his way from getting into the B site specifically. And as he deletes it, he makes his play forward. He's going to have to find something here. It's going to be a 1v1 with dapr, in which doesn't barely connect a single shot. So poised, moving quickly, trying to rotate in. Trapwire revealing it. Now Sentinels quick on the rotation, even the gravity well being spent. dapr able to find the easy shot. Trade there for Zeta, who keeps the play alive by finding a 2nd.
Honestly, that gravity well has given dapr kill after kill after kill at that exact same spot. Trapwire even catching poised as well, so poised is really just landing in all the util here. Zeta by himself, 1 versus 3. Doesn't have a lot to work with, and tenz will shut him down, and pretty simple retake here coming through from Sentinels. They get the opening 2 picks over towards A. It's a 5v3. It's Cloud9 hoping for the best here, getting whatever kills they can, getting a plant down, And after that round 2 heroic play from Cloud9 to be able to pick up that, what would have been anti-eco round for Sentinels, it's been a bit more of a slowdown now. Now Sentinels are a little bit more online. And honestly, dephh has just been solid. 2 kills this round.
Yeah, it's just still one of those things that this puts Cloud9 back onto an eco. And that's the great news for Sentinels. You got to come out hot. You got to make sure that Cloud9 does not just snowball their way through this map early, which is something they've done throughout the majority of this tournament so far. So good on them. And I think the question will still continue to stand. What is going to be the response for tenz on this operator? Is it going to have to be a heavy use of commitment and utility or what? Because there's not going to be the ability to go snipe versus him.
So what's happening here is you actually see Floppy going pretty deep over towards A. There's 3 players. He might get spotted by the L drone. Could be contact over towards C as well. Zayda's thinking about will get the kill. That's with the frenzy as well. That's possibly a free gun. tenz been traded. This is going well for Cloud9, and they still have... Well, they had the hero rifle on the poised. That's been given over now, plus a couple of extra guns. We talked about maybe the operator wasn't going to get played by Cloud9, but how about picking up one for free? In tenz, or rather in leaf's hand now.
It starts with dapr trying to use that cyber cage to get out. You saw him trying to activate it, but instead he gets onto the ultimate orb because he's so darn close to it, so he can't activate that cyber cage, and that's what leads to him in a very awkward position. Cosmic Divide coming through. Leaf.
Oh, Leaf.
Operator in hand, but misses the shot. Sick. Not going to find anything, though. He had an angle on the Leaf, he thought, but as Mitch is able to put his weight around the ring, he finds the first kill. Zeta confirms the final. It's a thrifty coming through to keep things tied at square at 3.
I gotta say, you know, like, so many of these rounds that Cloud9 have won have been thrifties. Like, I want to say the majority of them over the last 2 maps, and there it is, like you said. That first kill from Zeta is so clutch, but even that trade that happened over towards Garage is so insane as well. So this is absolutely the type of round that Cloud9 need, and I thought maybe it's possible, but only because Poise enters with a hero rifle with the possibility of an Empress, and maybe that's where they play through. I don't know that it was going to be Zeta being the hero here, and just getting the initial kill to dapr like that really opens things up.
So how much do you credit Zeta, and how much do you credit the ultimate orb placement? Making things a little
column
bit...
A, but a column B.
That's exactly right. So this all of a sudden turns the economical advantage around, and Leaf will carry this operator into battle. Cloud9 working their way largely into C. Leers are through. Poise also committing into the Empress. The gravity well slows things down. And Leaf, he actually dives right in, but the shots are not great. He's going to get the slice and dice in. Floppy's able to find 2 behind it. Oh boy, a little bit of comical relief, but Sentinels are able to respond in part. And how about that from shahzam? Does take down Mitch through the Radianite box. That'll be the spike on the ground. The Poise still in the Empress, able to respond. Zom's up close though. Has anyone read that he's already on the site? They know where the spike is. So as soon as he hears a sound cue, maybe there's a chance for him to get a timing on a peek and turn this into a 1v1. There's the first cue coming through. Finds the shots, gets the headshot, but it's Poise. Still in Empress mode, finding the final kill, and Cloud9 take their 2nd round in a row.
I was actually going to say, man, zombs can just play the timer here. There's been no plant just yet. He doesn't need to reveal his positioning. He can wait for timing. When Cloud9 plant, then he thinks about swinging. But Cloud9 know that as well, so the mind game here is for Cloud9, just fake a plant, force zombs to peek, and then you have 2 plays available for the trade. So C9 will collect it and take the lead once more. Well, take the lead in general here. tenz' operator, or rather, was tenz' operator, then into the hands of Leaf, and now it's nobody's hands, dropped entirely. 1 HP knife kill from Leaf will be one of the highlights of this map so far. Shock Dart's clearing out a garage, but otherwise there's a lot of plays in there, so it's not really cleared out, despite kind of forcing Sick back.
Oh, though, they do expect that there's a player close in the corner. Curveball will come through. Sick will use that for a double of his own. And Sentinels will come out the victors of the early engagement. 4v3 early, and the neural theft also spent from dapr.
tenz gets reminded that the Bucky did get nerfed, but other than that, Sentinels will still get the favorable trade of the 1-2. Now shifting over towards the B side, or A side of things, rather, it's going to come down to Zom. shahzam's arrived as well. Zom swinging for the 1. shahzam, though, waiting for the reinforcements.
Mitch does still have the spike, wants to still get this plant off. Hunter's Fury will come out to deny. Sick up top, looking for some clearance. Does not see anything in the backside of the site, and oh, the 3rd dart out of the Hunter's Fury nearly connects onto Mitch. That would have put him on critical HP. Spike goes down. Sick waiting. The rest of the retake will have to be either dropping out of heaven or coming from behind. Shahzam finds the first. Mitch trying to respond. Deals with the run it back. Looking for one more in the corner, but it's Shahzam, the double up. And Sentinels back on the board as they tie things all up even at 4.
Zeta needed to get that kill. He's starting to get a bit impatient. I think he's potentially believing that his time is limited. If there's players dropping out of heaven as well, might be in trouble. Thought he had a time with the Shahzam, but unfortunately didn't. The Shahzam will go up for 2 kills on that retake. And like I said, take Sentinels up to 4 and 4 apiece. That's been a competitive map. I mean, back in the day, you'd think that Sentinels, especially on Haven, this would be very one-sided for them. But again, this tournament's been a bit more 50-50, and 50-50 so far has been how the rounds have gone. Even frags across the ball. There's not anyone really underperforming or overperforming here. I mean, Zombs has actually done quite a lot, to be fair.
Very similar setup here from Sentinels. Hot hands early. Star also down, but tenz this time playing with some elevation. That's the only unexpected part. And now Sick using the curveball to push forward. Hunter's Fury is going to try to flush both these members out, but it comes a little bit wide. Doesn't really fully tag up anybody. And again, early engagements favoring Sentinels. 5v3 situation and a lot of time to work with, but not a lot of space to work with if you're Cloud9 Blue.
I mean, Sick really wanted to go through the garage doors there, but was pushed back by the Hunter's Fury. Good team play by Zombs to put down the gravity well to stop anybody from Cloud9. Poised, who I'm talking about here, from pushing in to maybe collect the kill into Sick and trade things over, but 5-3 so far. And it's a couple times now where Sentinels do something aggressive. To get the early player advantage, it will come down to Cloud9 to try and make these trades happen. 3 versus 2 over towards A. Should be a late rotate. No one from Sentinels is rotating early. Back down to Zombs and Shahzam. They've been pretty strong on this defense so far, especially Zombs, who's had multiple kills. Straight away onto 1.
Zombs finding 1 is great. Shock Dart comes through, making life a little bit easier, but the dismiss will keep the player alive. Poised, responding, eventually gets the second, and all the overheal comes in. Spike will be collected. Poised trying to commit for it. Long flank coming around the back from tenz. Quickly making its way on for retake, though, is Sick. He finds the easy elimination. And Sentinels, now they respond with 2 rounds in a row, putting themselves up 5-4.
Yeah, I mean, all that needs to happen for Sentinels there is they got to go 1 for 1, which they both do. Zombs and Shahzam will both get a kill. Comes down to a 1 versus, 3. And even if Sick wasn't in position to instantly swing for the kill into Poised, they could have just waited for tenz was on the big flank and eventually suffocate Poised out. But no, Sick will just clean it up nice and easy, 5-4 now. And it's a combination of Sentinels getting early frags that are untraded straight away due to aggression from the defense, followed up by the fact that if Cloud9 actually want to try and execute into a site, the trades are still 1 for 1 anyway, so Cloud9 just can't get a player advantage, at least not on a lot of these rounds.
Standing ahead.
Different look here, though. The Sentinels will not try to commit in towards the garage. It'll just be the 1 star trying to keep it safe. As Cloud9 are on an eco, they will make a decision to maybe even go over towards B. But look at the setup. There are so much utility waiting here. Trap wire, spy cam, stars, everything. Making their way on. Leap, not going to be able to get far enough forward. As you mentioned, dapr holding over by the gong. Finds 1. Even the Hunter's Fury going to come through to make life difficult, and boy has it. Finding 2 kills from Shahzam, leaving things all up the floppy. Not clean with the Sheriff. A flawless defensive round for Sentinels as they hit 6 first.
And that's an insane read from Sentinels as well, because dapr doesn't play mid. He doesn't play B behind the gong. He plays over towards C. But this is where Sentinels looking at the economy, noticing, hey, it's not a lot of money for Cloud9. They're probably going to go eco here. Possibility of maybe 1 hero rifle, something like that. And where are you going to go, especially for Cloud9, when they haven't hit B at all? Cloud9 themselves are thinking, we haven't done B. We should try B. Try B with pistols. Take the range of the weapons down quite low. Sentinels are thinking the exact same thing, and they're already there. Dephh is behind Gong. He gets to peek out, and C9 are not at all ready for that.
First is going to be popped. Going to get aggressive. Also the showstopper out for Leaf. They're clearing out the B site at the moment, but will Leaf find an opportunity to do anything with this? It's not going to find any eliminations. You're saying that the play is coming around to A, but the spike is actually being planted right on top of B. So the A control through the site in favor of Cloud9 Blue, but they're not able to find the eliminations. Zombs is going to take down the Empress of Poise. Leaf up top trying to change the angle. Nobody expected that, so we go to a 4v3 favoring Cloud9. Sentinels need to clear this player out, and they do so pretty darn quickly. So now it's just down to the retake. tenz from one side, dapr and sick were trying to play the other. Floppy in the back, waiting to see anything out of tenz. Dark cover still keeping him safe. Zeta gonna check, but gets caught. But Floppy's still able to get the trade. 1v2 situation for dapr. Not a lot of time to play for with the defuse, and it's not going to be possible. Just looking for eliminations at this point. Won't even grab any of those. Cloud9 Blue make it a 1-round half.
A really nice play for Cloud9 to go deep in towards A as well. I thought maybe they'll take the whole team over towards A. The showstopper will clear the entire link. Like you said, the smoke's down. They had all the setup happening on B already. And actually, this time I got to give the read over to Cloud9 because they went B. It failed on the eco. But Sentinels are not expecting that Cloud9 will go B twice in a row. So there it is, straight back on towards B. Clear out A link as well. Keep players in A link. You got to clear Poise. You got to clear Leaf. Leaf could have even delayed that further. Leaf actually goes for a bit of a swing. He could have just played Heaven, and whether he dies or not, just really slows down the retake from Sentinels. It's slow enough that it just doesn't happen. But here we go, straight into the next round. Zombs tries to get aggressive, and now finally Cloud9 are punishing some of these early picks, and they will have the player advantage 5v4.
Yeah, Sick was also trying to play a bit aggressive, his tag down low, but tenz with the operator. Now onto the knives, finds himself a second. Floppy will keep the numbers even as he is able to find a trade away. So a 3v3 situation, but tenz on these knives, you feel like they could potentially be the key. A couple of them will miss though, and Leaf will punish. So now a 3v2, Shahzam and Sick on absolutely critical HP. Sick will return back after the run it back to 100 health, but the spike over towards the C site means that this is going to be one heck of a rotation, and Shahzam, is he going to expect a player deep in the defensive spawn? Might not even matter because both players are rotating through the B connecting link.
Mitch, contact.
Mitch about to see one. Oh, or does he? Just
shoulder.
Sees his shoulder. So now Floppy can turn his attention, but he's on 62 health. Sentinels are going to try to overwhelm this. Here comes the double peek. Floppy finds the first and able to grab the second. 4 in the round for Floppy. And we exit the first half at a deadlock tie at 6.
Yeah, I mean, we've been pretty deadlocked through the entire half so far. I mean, at one point, we're at 4-4. We have a 2-2. These teams are neck and neck, at least so far in that first half. Great plays by Cloud9 in terms of attempting to get on towards A. They get the opening frag onto Zombs. Doesn't look too good after that. Floppy has an Omen ultimate available from the Shadows being used to get all the way over towards C. And once again, it's players like Leaf that are delaying the rotation, delaying the retake from Sentinels. And then obviously Mitch could have had a timing as well. Mitch was in a great position to find any of the last couple of players that were going to get the retake on. And, my heart was skipping a beat for a second because Mitch nearly had the kill. I believe it was on the Sick. Doesn't quite get any of the kills on 2 players. Moving into Garrus, so unlucky in that regard. It comes down to Floppy to save the day. And he gets 4 kills total.
Aggression coming out from Cloud9 over through A. This is where the full stack of Sentinels are. Even trades for now. But do they expect Poise lingering through lobby? dapr will be the one trying to hold the back end of this play through. Sentinels already onto the A site, but they're coming back to long. They're going to try to find a way to get this kill onto Poise. Also with him is Leaf, and the isolation is beautiful. Mitch able to keep things interesting as he finds 2. But even still, with all of that said, it's a 1v2 situation just down to Zeta for Cloud9's defense.
I mean, Mitch's flank there is really important because it brings the numbers down to at least workable for Zeta. The heal for Sick will put him back onto 60. Just still low enough for Zeta to maybe get a couple of shots in to confirm it. It's tenz has a lot of HP though, that's the big problem. Still has a couple of art drafts available, and yeah, it's no utility for Zeta. Well, the recon's back online, that will be played. You just expect pretty quickly. This is the only real advantage Zeta has. He would need to use it. He's revealed his position, missed the first couple of shots, and now the fight's on.
Doesn't get any information off the recon bolt. This will be a really tough gunfight with the Frenzy against the Shields of tenz. First battle will come through, but it's actually Sick who stays behind to make sure things stay safe. 3 kills for Sick, and I believe also the plant. So yeah, he's going to be really close to earning a very early run it back, and you know that is a key point of Sentinels executes, is to try to get information off of that run it back from Sick as soon as possible.
Yeah, so that's going to be, 4 pistols now for Sentinels. tenz as well, just tanking the bullets up. You know, he had the armor, so as long as Sick doesn't go down, I mean, even Sick going down, there's actually not the worst because it helps him get more ultimate charges, so it's a little bit neither here or there. But 4 pistols in a row, and is Cloud9 going to be able to get another round 2 here? That would be very important, again, to slow down any of this economic snowball from Sentinels, which is what they've been able to do at least twice in a row and split. Couldn't quite get it done the first half of Haven, and in my opinion, that's part of what made it much more competitive. That's part of what got Cloud9 back in.
Similar look for Sentinels as far as the numbers heading over towards A. This time defensively, no one will actually be on the site for Cloud9 Blue. A lot of members still stacked in the middle of the map. And as they start to work their way over, the recon bolt will allow Sentinels to get on and likely get this spike planted sooner rather than later. No full flanks at all from Cloud9, so this retake will have to be from the front. Paint shells were used to try to keep default plant site safe, but it's actually Sick who plays it towards the back. The shock dart's also a touch late. But now here comes the attempt. Gravity well gonna soak up a lot of these Cloud9 players, and oh, it's an absolute slaughter. Put into a blender. Zeta, good luck. Not gonna do anything. Flawless execute from Sentinels.
Yeah, just wipe the floor there. I was actually thinking Sentinels are using a lot of util early here. See all the shocks going through. Blaze Wall's gone. Hot Hands is gone. But, you know, the more important util that's still remaining is Gravity Well. Like you said, just straight into the blender. Not a lot of hope there for the side of Cloud9. And there it is. It just completely ruins them, doesn't it? Even the one player that did technically make it past Gravity Well doesn't fare for any better. And that was Cloud9, Gamble stacking B, Mitch pushing down C, and they were hoping that Sentinel was going to walk in towards mid. Just doesn't happen. Now Cloud9, they're going to walk down mid, trying to get aggressive. That's a good flash from Sick, then Poised is caught out.
All drones will confirm information on both parties through the middle of the map. But you already have Tenz moving aggressively onto the site, able to take down Floppy. The Gravity Well is actually a little bit against him there, but doesn't make much of a difference. Zeta's trying to hold down the trigger on the Odin, not going to find too much. With this 6 spamming in return, finds a double. There was that run it back, coming through to find so much value. And everything is up to Mitch. He does find one isolated, maybe a chance for a second, but no. Just as soon as he tries to get under the banister in the window, Sick finds his 3rd kill, and Sentinels up now 9-6.
Yeah, this is going really poorly for Cloud9 now. We talked about, hey, maybe could Cloud9 get that 2nd round again? They can't even get the 3rd round, sadly, and that's the one that's really important because they got the guns and it's starting to look a little bit more like Bind. You look at the first 3 rounds of Bind, pretty much exactly the same here. There's even the Odin online. That Odin, I believe, was actually bought up by Zeta on the defense. And Shazam's like, yeah, I'll get that free upgrade. Why not? Use it on the offense, see what they can do with it. And how many times is the Gravity Well just going to find so much impact, not just on the defense, but also on the offense now as well? And there's no stat for it, but I would love to see just how many Gravity Well assists Zombs really has, because it feels like the Gravity Well impact has been super high.
Yeah, without question. Still, Cloud9 looking to get aggressive, denied by dapr. Even the recon below that, pushing back more members. Neural Theft will be committed just to get a lay of the land. And with a spike that was dropped and still playing off of a late pickup through the middle of the map, that will now be collected and the move will be made over towards the C site. Even some stars being placed. dapr making sure the rotation through B stays safe, finds himself his 2nd. Mitch also tagged up in the play. Does get a trap wire to reveal 1, but oh, actually the 1-tap is pretty solid, but Zombs is able to essentially line up 2 on the way through and then make it a 3rd. Why not? Sentinels up 10-6. Must-win round coming up for Cloud9 Blue.
That was a nearly flawless there, except for the fact that Tenz did go down, so Mitch will take a bit of tax on the eco. Again, it was just an eco, so not expecting the most from Cloud9. This is the round that, like I said, could be a must-win. In fact, it probably would be, because if they lose this one, we go to 11. Can Cloud9 then afford to eco? Probably not. I would expect they would have to force. So really, to avoid that situation, Cloud9, yeah, they kind of do have to win this one. They have the guns now. Shazam gets rid of the Odin. Probably doesn't want to actually use that on offense. This defense needs to be really solid. 3 plays on A. That's a very aggressive paranoia. Can they swing in time, though?
All the 2 players that were trying to use that paranoia are in sewer, though. And the hit is largely coming through. Long first battle with Leaf. Tags up both players, but everything will reset. Boombot to keep it safe. There will not be a second challenge. And yeah, I was about to say, this is interesting because you thought that there was going to be a contest coming through through sewer, but all the utility coming out of Shazam actually pushes both those members out, making sure there is an exit for these Sentinels players that were caught through long.
Yeah, well played by dapr. They had a cage available. I thought maybe they were going to get caught on the exit, but no. Shazam might be one catching, though. That's a free headshot. So, I mean, this is Sentinels heads up, just able to find and identify where Cloud9 are going to be able to come through from, knowing that, yeah, they're going to aggressively walk on through. dapr's still around, by the way. It is 3v4, but dapr could find a timing. Tenz already got Zeta down. And there it is, dapr on the back end. They've cleaned them up just out of Floppy, 29 HP. And he has to do something this round. I mean, you can't afford to give this one away. It will be 11 for Sentinels, and Floppy has to do it all.
So many things were asked of the defense over towards C. You thought for a second that Mitch was going to get him just enough help to hold, but tenz blows everything up with the double on the entrance. Trapwire denied, but floppy revealing his position. He's actually just going to play for a save. This is so heartbreaking. I mean, there's not a lot of opportunity in front of them. I mean, you're on 29 HP in a 1v3. The chances if you win this round are already pretty abysmal, but saving and putting yourself onto a 6-11 where your teammates are largely going to be on maybe some pistol upgrades, maybe an SMG if they can afford it at best, does not paint a very pretty picture.
They got to let him have the gun as well. I thought maybe Sick was going to go for it. He's got the most HP, the highest chance of getting it with the flash as well. They got the money to play through. Like, yeah, even if Sentinels die here, they'll be fine. They have plenty of cash. And Floppy and C9B will be at least thankful for the one rifle they get to take through to the next round. I say they gotta play for it. They gotta buy up here. I mean, you eco, you play the hero rifle, you give Sentinels 12. Sentinels hit 12, your chance of winning this map get kind of pretty much blown out. So buy what you can. Will be expected. A few members will be buying down to minimal, so they are gonna half buy this one. So there it is. It's gonna be the floppy hero rifle. That has to be the gun that gets the job done, and you really feel bad for Cloud9 because their aggression play could have worked, but the timing just wasn't quite there. Paranoia initially was good. The 2 players in sewers couldn't quite find any exits. Now we head into this round where a massive stack from Sentinels just pushed him through the cage.
Yeah, they're just moving aggressively, trying to keep the pressure on Cloud9 Blue, but this is all just a fake. It's going to force members for Cloud9 Blue in the middle of the map to consider rotating, but as the execute gets stalled, now they're going to make their play through grass and maybe onto the flank. It's dapr who's going to be responsible for watching this on your minimap off screen just a touch, and Cloud9 Blue are going to commit to playing this from behind. So pressure on the backside of this play. Shahzam alleviates by finding the first blood. Floppy responds. That's the spike carrier also down. We're going to go 4v4. Floppy still holding his ground. dapr, the next one to challenge, gets tested by poised, but is equal to the task. And now tenz moves forward, finds the second elimination, and Sentinels will have a numbers advantage in the 3v2. But Zeta does keep things level with that trade through mid window.
Mitch needs a gun. He can't get one. Mitch will be up now. One tap, one kill here would be beautiful. That trapwire might give him the advantage. It does not allow him to get the tap, though. So now it is just Zeta. Hunter's Fury hasn't been used yet. That would have been good. I mean, the Hunter's Fury would have prevented the plant, or at least slowed things down. Zeta could have been pushed, though, so it's maybe a good idea not to do it. 5 HP, finds a headshot onto zombs. Can it be possible? No. Shahzam will lock it down.
Brilliant patience from Shahzam just to play that one off the plant as well. Call should have been there that Mitch was tagged up extremely low. Gives himself a real good look. But now map point for Sentinels. And the only real bit of good news here for Cloud9 is the fact that you do have a lot of ultimates banked. And if you can find one ultimate orb, the showstopper will be in play. But you've got a Hunter's Fury, you've got knives, and you've got a Cosmic Divide for zombs. So that can all be tempered in some way. It's going to be really difficult to try to find a read here of how Cloud9 take this. They need to get a first blood. That has to happen.
Now I think Zeta holding onto the Hunter's Fury is probably the right call. He didn't want to get pushed by Shahzam. It would have killed him. Also having ultimates available for this very important round is definitely the play. tenz nearly got the first blood again. Will take down the Boombot. Has been spotted. A couple of players really trying to take him down. tenz flies a dash though, so he's fine.
I was going to have to use it. Updraft, just trying to stay away from the paint shell Semtex. Tagged down to below 50 health, but Sick has made his way forward, and nobody expected this play whatsoever. Completely concealed the entire way. Now they'll run it back. In combination, the Recon Bolt not going to find any eliminations. Zeta on the flank from Durage, able to find one. Give him a second. Looking for the third, but it goes pinstripe into the kill feed. We've got ourselves a now 2v2 as Mitch holds on to one more. But everything turns on to Floppy. 1v2 to keep Cloud9 Blue alive. And Shahzam with the spike is going to rotate over to plant over at C. Floppy maybe going to be tested, and he will. So the first one down, 1v1 with Shahzam. Shots decent, but not good enough. Shahzam clutches things up.